by Mint Grass Bullhorn.
Good evening, everybody. Paul Gowder here from powwows.com. We're going to start the show in just a minute more. I can't wait to bring you tonight's interview with Byron Graves, an author with a cool book coming out. Talk more about that in a minute and some special announcements. See you in just a minute. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Pow Wow Nation Live. This is the show we do each week here at powwows.com. My name is Paul Gowder, and I am the founder of powwows.com. Thank you so much for taking time on this Thursday night to be with me. I appreciate it. I already see some familiar faces. Alton and Marshall, welcome back. I see Denise is here, and Paula, and many others. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Blue Jay, hey, hey, hey. So on tonight's show, I have an interview with an Ojibwe author. His name is Byron Graves, and he has a book coming out here in just a few weeks, and he's going to tell you all about that and kind of what his inspiration was to write about the story of Native youth and sports and kind of how that came to be and what he hopes that you're going to get from this book and so much more. It's going to be a cool interview. I think you're going to enjoy that. But I do have a few announcements first. First announcement, our summer giveaway, powwows.com/win. We're giving away 2 8th generation blankets. Thank you, 8th generation, for continuing to support us here at powwows.com. We had some issues. The company that provides us the software that makes our giveaways run had an outage for a few days, and several of you messaged me, and I'm sorry. Things went down. We couldn't help it, so we've extended the contest. It's going to run for a few more days. So if you head on over to powwows.com, I'll show you. If you're new here or haven't seen it, I will show you how you can enter to win. Okay. You go to powwows.com/win. It's going to bring you here, and you can scroll. There are those 2 beautiful blankets we are giving away. Scroll down past that, and all you have to do here is put in your email address, click the agree button. You can see you got 4 more days to enter. Hit that button, and that puts you into the contest. That's all you got to do. Now, we're going to draw 2 names randomly from all of the entries. If you want to get your name in a few more times, there are things here you can complete. So, for example, if you want an additional 10 entries every day for the next 4 days, you click this button, boom, you have 10 entries. You can come back tomorrow and do it again. Okay? So that's how our contest works. powwows.com/win. Okay. Other announcements. So this past weekend, my family went out to San Francisco and spent a few days out there. like so many other people, we have waited for this day for so long because back in October, we were able to get tickets to Taylor Swift. Yeah, that whole craziness that's going on all over the world, right? We were able to get my daughter tickets to go see Taylor Swift. So we decided to make a family trip of it. And the reason I'm telling you this is I was able to go and see some things that I was really, really excited about visiting. I lived in California as a kid, and I don't remember much of it, so I was excited to get back there. One, we went and visited Alcatraz. If you're not aware, and I'm getting ready to come out with a video and some more information about all of this year they're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the occupation of Alcatraz by a group of 90 natives who took over the island in the 60s. So they had a really, really cool exhibit, lots of incredible pictures and documents and things from that time. So I've got all of that, and I'm going to bring you more information about that soon. That was really cool to see. And we also went out and saw Muir Woods. If you're not familiar with that, it is a redwood forest that also was very important to the tribes out there in California. So I've got some information and video coming about that. Really, really cool to see. Blue Jay says, how was the Taylor Swift concert? So not having been a total Swiftie before, my daughter has prepared us for this moment, though. I knew going, I'd seen the TikToks, right? I'd seen the craziness that went into this thing. So I kind of knew what to expect, but it was different being there in person. The community that she has built, the fan base that she has nurtured over these years is incredible. People were nice to each other. There were tons of lines, right? I mean, we had to wait in line after line after line. Nobody got upset if the line, moved away and maybe you got cut off, or nobody pushed and shoved. Nobody yelled at each other. It was such a friendly environment. People were helping each other. It was really, really cool to see that part. My daughter was doing the friendship bracelet trading. That was really cool to see everybody, talking with each other and being so open and friendly. And the fact that she put on a 3-hour plus show, 40 something songs, incredible. I don't know how she does that. Unbelievable. And the production value is great. I mean, didn't know some of the songs. I tried to listen to them leading up to it. Didn't know all of them, but still, to be in a thing with 70,000 people all screaming, except, the few dads that we didn't know all the words, but most of the people there screaming the words of these songs, it was really incredible. Probably more than you wanted to know, but there you go. And now she's announced more tour dates. So if you're in some of those cities, Indianapolis, New Orleans, Miami, and a few others. So go check that out. Marshall's asking Blue Jay, you like Taylor Swift? She says no. Well, you gotta love your powwow music, and I agree. That's I got a lot of that on my playlist too. Okay. Other announcement. We just ended a few minutes ago a midweek powwow that we were doing. We were streaming. Michael Gabbard was up there streaming up in Manitoba at the Ada Wilson Gray Cloud Woman Powwow the last 3 days. He is now driving over to the Long Plains First Nations powwow, so we will have another powwow live stream starting tomorrow and going all weekend. So if you're looking for that powwow fix, if you need to get a little bit of powwow in this weekend and you're not able to travel, or if you are at a powwow and you just want to get some more, hit your phone, visit us over on powwow on Facebook, YouTube. We're even experimenting with Twitch, or on powwows.com's website itself. We will be streaming live all weekend, so don't miss that. Okay, so now let's talk about tonight's special. Oh, wait a minute, one more announcement. So I have compiled a list of books, since we're talking about books tonight, powwows.com/books. That is a list of some of the books we have recommended at powwows.com, some of the ones I've read that I've enjoyed. You can also see here Brian Young, who we had on the show a few weeks ago. We got his books. Here is Byron Graves' books, Res Ball. You can pre-order that now. We've got Project 562. We interviewed her a few weeks ago, or a couple months ago. So yeah, this is our recommended book list, and this will be growing as we add more to it and we find more things that we like. Sean Sherman's cookbook, fantastic. So we'll put some of these here. powwows.com/books is where you can go to get all of that and find the link to tonight's author. And if you do click this, we really appreciate it here at powwows.com, because clicking this link and buying from this doesn't cost you anything extra, but Amazon does give us a little commission back, so that helps support powwows.com and all the things we do here. Okay, hitting the wrong buttons. Can I get it down? There we go. Winners for Marshall. Are you asking about the winners for tonight's powwow? I'm not sure. Michael just texted and said 1 powwow down, 1 to go. So I think he's packing up and heading to the next one. So if I hear about winners, I will let you know. So let's talk about tonight's guest. His name is Byron Graves. He's an Ojibwe, born and raised in Red Lake Indian Reservation, where he played high school basketball. So he has a little bit of knowledge on this subject. And when he isn't writing, he can be found playing video games. He loves the retro video games, spending time with his family, and cheering on the beloved Timberwolves. And like being a Carolina Gamecock fan down here in the South, that is a tough team to pull for. But he now lives in Denver, and this is his debut book. So I hope you enjoy my interview with Byron Graves. All right, I'm super excited to have you tonight. I appreciate you spending some time with me. Let's get right to it, and tell me more about yourself and this book you have coming out.
Yeah, so my name's Byron Graves. I'm Ojibwe and Lakota from the Red Lake Indian Reservation. And my debut novel, Resball, kind of recaps some of the stories of playing basketball for the Red Lake Warriors. And it's also universal for anybody who understands what Resball is. So I'm excited to be here with you today and chat a little bit about it.
Awesome. So, I was reading some of your other interviews and things you've done online, and I saw you had a long time nickname of Art, and saw you talked about this. You were always into the art of storytelling. So, at what point did you decide that you wanted to take part and actually be a storyteller yourself?
It was probably about 10 years ago, where I figured out how I was going to tell stories, right? So I was dabbling in writing poetry, dabbling in writing music. I was dabbling in acting, and all those things are, amazing forms of expression and an ability to try to tell the story you want to tell in some way, shape, or form. But they all involve so many other people and so much time in some circumstances, and in other situations, money. But writing was all about me, the amount of time I wanted to commit to it. It was free. So it was something where I finally was like, hey, I know what I want to do. I know I have this love for words and this love for storytelling. And how can I do that in a way where it's just dependent 100% on me showing up, me putting in the time, me learning how to do it. So this 10 years has been quite a journey, and it really kind of came to fruition the last couple of years, but it's been the same game the whole time.
All right. So, and you mentioned you wanted to kind of tell the story of some of the things you participated in too. So, besides pulling from your past, was Resball the first real story that you wanted to tell in a book form, or had there been others that you're working on? How did that come about?
So I wrote a book called Fighting Chance, which was about a teenage Native American boxer, an Ojibwe boxer, who had all the potential in the world, and had some different challenges holding him back. So at that time, I was trying to tell that story of mental health challenges, any kind of addiction challenges, but also having big dreams and having a ton of potential, which I think a lot of Natives can relate to. And that book got me my agent. So I put that out into the world. I was trying to shop it around. My agent, Terry Wolf with AKA Literary, she loved it, really cemented in that I was on the right path and that I was actually someone who was capable of writing. So I didn't know if I was really sure if it was something I was good at, something I could do. So that book, taking sports, which I'm a huge fan of, and they always say, write what you know. So that was the first book where I really figured out what I was doing and how I wanted to do it.
All right. So tell us a little bit about the book. What, when this comes out in September, what are we looking for? And who is this suited best for?
A wide range of people. I mean, I wrote it for teenage Native Americans, even if they're not sports fans. it really is a universal tale of just a coming of age story of what it's like to have big dreams, maybe have this card stacked against you, maybe be a little bit insecure, but deep down inside, knowing that you've got something special to share with the world and how scary that can be. So that was my main audience. Every single time I had to sit down, worn out from my 9 to 5 or wanting to just hang out and chill on the weekends, getting that extra little bit of energy, that second wind, if you will. It was always for that teenage audience who, growing up, I didn't see myself represented like that. I couldn't just go grab a book that had a Native American basketball player, a teenager. I tried to keep the book really authentic, I felt like, in a lot of ways. So that was my main audience, but I think almost anybody could pick it up and read it and relate to it.
You mentioned representation and not having sort of those role models coming up. And as I interview people, we always, that seems to come up more and more. And I I'm always excited to interview another person, whether it's an author, a TV celebrity, or a producer, or whatever, because you guys are now setting paths for Native youth to be able to follow, and it's pretty exciting things. We're seeing Res Dogs and Rutherford Falls, and some of these stories really hit mainstream. Um, it has How have you seen any of this happening so far? How has it affected where you're from at all?
It has been affirming. It's made me feel not alone. It's made me see that there's a hunger and a thirst for that type of storytelling and for Native American representation out there. So like you said, like something like Res Dogs, I actually am always so behind the curve with whatever's new and whatever cool and whatever's going on. For example, I watched Breaking Bad like 10 years after everybody cared about it,
I
but
did
I
too.
just actually finished season 2 of Res Dogs, and season 3's out now, and I'm going to go watch a
Right.
couple of episodes after this that just came out. But I was watching the end of season 2, and I just couldn't believe the storytelling, the acting, the directing, and just seeing that on TV. I looked at my partner when that ended, and I was teary eyed, and I just couldn't believe what I had just seen. One of the greatest television shows, in my opinion, of all time. And I was like, oh my God, I would have loved to have seen something like this when I was 15, 16, 17. And you can take it however you want. Would that have inspired me earlier to try to write? Would it have inspired me earlier to take on some creative endeavors? Or would it have just allowed me to see myself as a character on TV and someone who's out there, So it's been, like I said early on, at the beginning of my answer, affirming. I see so many other people. There's so many brilliant Native American authors out there, so many creative Native American people of all different facets of the industries out there. So it's just been a beautiful thing. It's like a renaissance, it's just so many people out there doing their thing. And I'm so proud of all of them. And even to be just a teeny tiny little part of that is just, couldn't ask for anything more.
Yeah, I've described it the same way. It's a renaissance. It's such a opening and exciting time. I'm For me, I'm really looking forward to see what happens in 5 years. Not only for Native youth who feel inspired and, like you said, affirmed and accepted, but now um, there is, like I think you used the word craving. There's a craving for these stories, and what new stories are going to get to be told in mainstream is going to be pretty exciting. Um, so let's talk about Resball itself. It's talking about something going mainstream, whether it's some of these tournaments that have just grown in size to a documentary coming out on, is it Netflix or one of the platforms? Tell For somebody who's not familiar with Resball, sum up what is Resball and how is it different than other basketball that people have seen?
I guess for like a mainstream audience, someone who didn't know Res Ball, someone who knew nothing about Native American basketball, I would sum up Res Ball by saying it's street ball. And what I mean by that is it's creative, it's in the moment, it's not stopping to call a play, it's not trying to run a pick and roll. It's really letting the game come to you, and it's fast paced, it's exciting, it's run and gun, it's shooting threes, it's throwing a behind the back pass. It's like an NBA All-Star game But just that's just the way we hoop. You go to any res and you go check out a pickup game. There's going to be someone taking a three from 35 feet. There's going to be someone with a dunk or a fancy pass. So I just wanted to like capture the essence of that. Letting when all of us are on the court together, it's creativity, is poetry in motion.
Yeah. Awesome. So your book comes out in September. It's going to be available, I assume, on all the major platforms. Uh,
Hmm.
so are we doing? Are we traveling around anywhere people can find you if they're looking after they enjoy the book? Where will you be in the next few months?
Yeah, so September around the launch date, we're doing a date in Minneapolis, September 12th. Still getting the last little bit of it locked down, but it sounds like it's a go for Birch Bark Books. So really excited about that. Always been a huge fan of that store. And then I'm going to do a couple of events in northern Minnesota, which is where I'm from. So I'm going to be at the Red Lake Nation College
Hmm.
Thursday. I believe it's September 14th or 15th. I'd have to look at a calendar. And then that Saturday, I'm going to be in Bemidji, Minnesota, doing another book event at Four Pines Bookstore. So yeah, going to try to get three in there that first week of launch in kind of different areas of the state, different audiences, connect with all my family and friends and community members and people from my tribe, and just have a good time and get to share this moment with everybody.
Great. Going forward, do you see yourself telling more sports stories? Where do you feel like you're going to head next in your creative endeavors?
Well, the book I'm working on right now is actually very similar to Resball, but I wanted to go a little bit more of an alternative path because, like, I don't know if it's just a trope, but there's always like the jocks in high school, and then there's always like the alternative kids or the
Right.
everybody else. So my next book is about, and it still involves sports, but it's about a skateboarder who's finding his place in the world and using skateboarding partially as escapism, but partially as a thing that's helping him build his own confidence in himself in every other facet of his life. And skateboarding takes such an incredible discipline, and it's such a gutsy thing to do, and it's one of the most frustrating things that you could ever try to do. And the amount of time it takes to get even like incrementally good at something is mind numbing. So I picked up and learned how to skateboard as I was working on this book. So definitely, there's some parallels between Resball and my next book, which is still a Native American teenager and still has sports in it. So that's where I see myself for the next couple of books, but definitely wide open to continue to expand. I love video games, so I definitely see maybe expanding into the gamer world. So doing like a Native American gamer book at some point. But yeah, it's wide open. Just kind of taking it one book at a time. Because when I'm working on something, it's all consuming. It's like all I think about. I can't really get into any other projects or think about anything else because I'm just immersed in it 100%. So I'm just about done with this book, and then it'll be time to say, hey, what's next?
I like the idea of an esports book. I mean, that whole market has really exploded, and to be able to tell, maybe put an indigenous character in the middle of that could be interesting. Because yeah, that's a really crazy world right now. Interesting. All right, cool. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Anything else you want to pass on for the folks watching as we getting ready for the getting closer to your launch date?
If you can go out and if you're interested in getting Resball, there's so many different ways that you can get it and support and help out. You can go request it at a local library. Pre-orders are huge. Getting it for a gift for someone, even if you're not a reader, but you want to support a Native American author, you want to support Native American creativity. There's so many things you can do as far as just getting a copy and giving it to someone, donating it, whatever you want to do. One of those little free libraries that are on the street, go put one in there. But all the support really helps to continue to fuel all of us who are out here creating and writing, and it's unbelievably appreciated. I know every Native American creator out there appreciates the support of Indian country, and it matters so much. It's what allows us to keep doing what we're trying to do.
I love what you just said. My daughter, for when she was in Girl Scouts, actually did a project of making the little lending libraries to put at camp, and I do. You see them everywhere, and so I'm challenged the audience: buy a book and put one of these books in there. Think of what you could do as spreading an indigenous story and these creative characters and relatable. storylines that maybe people in your area haven't seen or heard. It's a great way to get some of these stories and authors out there in exposure. Love it. Love it. Let's do that. Let's share these stories more. Yeah.
100%. Couldn't agree
Cool.
more.
Well, thanks so much for being on, and I look forward to the launch. And we'll make sure we'll have links and everything too below so everybody knows where to go and purchase that book.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It was an honor being on your show. I really appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right. Bye.
There you have it. Thanks so much, Byron, for coming on. It sounds like a cool book, and he's going to have some more stories coming. I'm excited. powwows.com/books. Support him and our other native artists. And I love the idea. I'm serious, y'all. If there's a lending library close to your house or in your neighborhood or on your commute, pick up a book and just slip it in there, right? You don't even worry about if you want to take one that's there. Just slip a couple in and let's see if we can spread these stories and help these native authors get to a wider audience. Love that idea. All right, just to go over the announcements again, powwows.com/books. You can find all of these books and more recommended there. Our giveaway has been extended for another 4 days. Get your entries in for these 2 8th generation blankets, powwows.com/win. And don't forget, our calendar is being constantly updated with new powwows. You can download our entire calendar at powwowcalendarbook.com. It'll give you a PDF that you can download to your phone, your computer, your iPad, whatever, and keep it with you anytime. Search it, click on the links to get the latest information inside the ebook, or just go to the calendar and search from there. And we also will be streaming the Long Plains First Nation powwow tomorrow and Saturday, Sunday. So if you are looking to get your powwow fix this weekend, we'll be streaming live. Check it out, powwows.com/win. Again, my name is Paul Gowder, and I thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you are the reason that powwows.com is what it is. Our community out there is fantastic, and I appreciate you being a part of it. It was great seeing some familiar names tonight, too. Let's see, Blue Jay, welcome back again. Marshall, Alton, Jet O, Steve, what's up? Jim, and so many more. Thank you for being here. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. Hope you're able to spend some time with the family and get to a powwow, or just get out there and have some great together time. Be safe, and I'll see you back next week. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody. I really appreciate your support. Appreciate it.